Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I would do if I was Bob Iger, being faced with how the fans have received the new Star Wars sequels under Kathleen Kennedy. First off, I probably wouldn't have kept her around after the transition from Lucasfilm to Lucasfilm Disney. I wouldn't have kept her around. I found somebody with a little more experience, a little more to run the company. And they obviously don't get along. Word on the street has it that he hates her, has wanted her gone before The Last Jedi came out, and then has quietly let her hang herself on her own petard. Now, whether she's gone in September, we have to wait. I believe that is when her departure from Lucasfilm is going to happen. And the fact that I've been told that there's a mad scramble to keep jobs among her minions, her gremlins in the story group is instructive, to say the least. But what would I do? First off, we know that there was a meeting between Lucasfilm in London and Lucasfilm in California, and Bob Iger listening in, and Kevin Feige and John Lasseter, Marvel, and Pixar, who were not part of this. They were just listening in. I probably would let her go then. I probably would have made an announcement after Solo came out, so there's transparency, because if the fans are upset and they want to know what's going on. That she was leaving, and that several people with her were going as well, and she was retiring, and other people had decided to leave to take up positions elsewhere, or to go in a new creative direction for their careers, or something like that. But that's what I would have done. Second of all, I would have had a long discussion with Dave Filoni about what he thinks Star Wars is, what he wants, what he would do if he was the head of creative, and what part of the EU he'd bring back. And the reason why is this. Obviously the fans like those stories, so we have to somehow incorporate them into what we already have. Now, some people might think that's hard, but if you're a creative mind, you can figure out ways to do that. Okay, so have that meeting and make him head of creative. Now, I know there's some people out there going, he didn't like the EU, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. He understands the lore. Okay, and trust me, he is on our side. Because Clone Wars coming back isn't Kathleen Kennedy's decision. Alright, it's partly to advertise Disney's new streaming service. Secondly, it's the first decision that Filoni has made without the screaming hag saying, no, we don't want that. And it could be actually his first decision as head of creative anyway, but I would make sure that people knew that he was taking over creative. And I would say, you bring in Star Wars fans, you bring in people that know the lore, you bring in people that are experienced writers, not activists. No more politics, no more relevant politics in Star Wars. This is a fairy tale. These are fantasy stories that talk about the human condition. I don't care about anybody's political agenda. Keep it out. Okay, there you go. It's the story about the fight against good versus evil, right versus wrong, the light, the eternal argument between the light and the dark. Okay, so that would happen. And then I would probably go and find somebody who's very, very, very experienced in running a major studio. And actually, despite the protestations that I know would happen, I'd probably say after a few months, John Lasseter is taking over as head of Lucasfilm. And the reason why is this. He started at Lucasfilm. He was the head of the digital animation department at Lucasfilm when they sold it as Pixar to Steve Jobs. Okay, he's been there forever. He has done massive amounts of movies that have made if you added all up, billions of dollars for Disney. So there you go. So you have that. Or I'd find somebody of equal experience who is attached somehow to the franchise, both Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and have them run it. Because despite all of these things that Dave Filoni has done, he's not experienced running an entire studio. Now, I would take up Mark Hamill's advice and have him actually make a live-action movie. So, there you go. And then, I would decanonize everything from Disney's canon except for Rogue One. I can hear the arguments. I really don't care. There were good characters in there. Despite the fact that Jyn Erso's character didn't really have much of a character arc, the story is still good, okay? So, and I really, really, really like Galen Erso, Dravid Stravin, and I really liked Mon Mothma showing up, Bail Organa, and the end scene with Vader is magnificent. So I keep that. I would put the check on everybody at Lucasfilm, too. Do not attack the fans. They are your bread and butter. Watch what you say on Twitter or social media to the fans, because they can hire and fire everybody from me to you. All right? And if they're not happy, look what we got going right now, because they're not happy. We got to fix this. Now, I would tell the people left, like Gary Whitta, etc., if you don't like the direction we're going, which is giving Star Wars back its Star Warsiness, you can find another job. All right, that's exactly what I would do. And we would build from the Thrawn trilogy, Zahn's Thrawn trilogy, and he and I would also have a conversation about what you say and what you don't say to fans. And it would not take any crap. I mean, you don't want this, hey, you know what? We'll just write 3 scripts, and you don't have to be part of them. Because it now belongs to us, and we're going to do this the right way. And the Thrawn trilogy introduced characters like Mara Jade, Jason and Jaina, and Anakin Solo, Ben Skywalker, and we'd slim down the EU. Trust me, Chewbacca would not be dying by having a moon dropped on him. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it gave Pablo Hidalgo the excuse to get rid of the EU. And as far as he's concerned, he wouldn't be part of this anyway, because I would outright fire him. Have him, this is what I would do for that. I'd have a meeting in San Francisco with the writers group. And everybody there. Andy Gutierrez would be there, that Justin Kidd, who does a social media, they'd all be there. Behind them would be a line of envelopes, names on them. Lots and lots of big professional security guards that used to be Navy SEALs, Green Berets, those kinds of people, and basically say, this is what's going on, talk to Hidalgo about his behavior on Twitter, and have a screen that shows his tweets to people, and say, you're fired, get out of here, and you've got your severance package in the back, it's in an envelope, sign both copies, leave ours there, take your check, take your copy, and get the hell out of here. And then I'd have 2 security guards march out with him to his office to help him clean up, and then march him out to wherever. Bye. That's exactly what I would do. Here's the reason why. You can't do this quietly. You have to be transparent. And the reason why is because your customer base is looking, and there's way too many rumors out there, okay, going on. There are way too many people like Mike Zero and the rest of these clowns with too much time on their heads to, they're just clowning around with rumors that don't make any sense. So that's what I would do. Transparency is everything. And in this day and age, the more transparent you are about what you're doing to fix a problem in your company, the happier your customers will be. Okay? So yeah, people would know. Announcements that come out. XXXXX are all fired. They're gone. We just hired XXXXXY, XXXY to take their places. And they would all be very professional people. And here's the deal. From the experience to how they dress. When I watched one episode of the Star Wars show on YouTube, I was shocked at the lack of professionalism I saw in the way people dress. Blue jeans, t-shirts, these stupid, the whole thing is not professional. The whole thing in that office is stunted adolescents. We're grown-ups. We behave professionally. We have jobs to do, and this is how we're going to do it. Business attire for men. All right, if you are doing PR or any sort of online or media, and if you are a writer, business casual, but nothing beyond that. Business casual means khakis, shirts, whatever. Business casual for women, you know what that is. If you've ever worked in an office, you know what that is. But business attire for executives, women, pantsuits, skirt suits, dresses. All right, you look like you belong there. Men, suits, ties, shoes, you look like you belong there. I did learn that in Washington, D.C., and let me tell you, it changes the attitude of the whole office. When people actually look professional, they behave that way. When they're wearing blue jeans and t-shirts and, oh, look at me, I got my suit jacket on, but I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt. It's not professional. That's, again, stunted adolescence, and it doesn't belong in a professional environment. So I changed those rules. I changed the rules for online. In fact, I would discourage Twitter accounts. Big time. I would discourage any interaction at all on YouTube, anywhere, Instagram, you name it, to get off of it. All right. And the reason why is because the temptation is too great. We've seen what happened with James Gunn. We've seen what happened with Pablo Hidalgo, Ryan Johnson. The temptation to be a jackass is too great. So none of that. If you are caught posting anything unofficial on your own account, you'll probably get fired, because what is said in my name reflects upon me. What you say online reflects on the company. So you have to go. And I don't expect people that are this emotionally undisciplined, like Pablo Hidalgo, Ryan Johnson, to discipline themselves. I just don't. I'm actually very impressed with Chris McQuarrie's Twitter behavior. I'm very impressed with Colin Trevorrow's. That is the way to go if you need one. But because creatives tend to do whatever they want, have absolutely they don't have any discipline. I mean, look at James Gunn. You don't stay off of Twitter. We have an official Twitter account. We have an official Facebook account. We have official YouTube. We have official Instagram. That's all. When we have something to say, it'll go to those places. That's it. All right, that's exactly what I would do. So, and that's just the beginning of the things I would do to change Lucasfilm and how it's being run. But everything would be out in the open if I was Bob Iger. If I took Kathleen Kennedy's job, everything would be very transparent. Because, again, the fans are the lifeblood of every movie studio, of every franchise. And they are insisting to know what's going on. All right? So, that's what I would do. So, this is stuff, just kind of putting it out there, what I would do to fix Lucasfilm. Signing out, Zero in the Galaxy.